Hello everyone, thanks for being with me one more time. Our content objective today is getting into the causes of species going extinct through human actions, or like why are species becoming endangered. And then we're also going to take a look at a couple laws that are in place to prevent further extinctions from happening. And so before we move on, take a look at this slide and ask yourself where you think this scene might have taken place. Africa? Asia? Actually, it's right here in North America, and it's not from the dinosaur days. We know that from fossils we've had megafauna that used to live here not all that long ago, like 13,000, 14,000 years ago. So what happened to our megafauna? Where is the saber-toothed tiger? So here we go. Our essential question is basically what we just went over, so jot that down. The first big point we're going to make is that species come and go. It's a fact. And this is just kind of like the way evolution works. And so there's a scientific consensus that over 99% of the species to have ever existed on Earth are already gone. And then most of that happened before humans came into the picture. And so we're talking millions and millions of species that have already gone extinct, which is it a sad thing? You know, sometimes we want to put value judgments on things. It's just kind of like the way it works, right? And so if you think about it, when the dinosaurs went extinct, that really opened up the door for mammals to get a foothold, and so we certainly wouldn't have evolved if dinosaurs were still raging around. And so it's just kind of the way it works. So they say the average mammal lasts about 10 million years, and so we've been here for about 1 million years, depending on how you define our starting point. But we're very young as a species, and so we'll see how we do compared to the other mammals. I think it's still too soon to tell. But at any rate, the big question right now is, are we in the midst of a sixth mass extinction event? And so we've had 5 other ones, like when the dinosaurs were wiped out by the asteroid and everything else almost. And then there are 4 previous ones where really you got all these species just getting wiped out, and just whoosh, they're gone. But not all of them, and then things kind of keep evolving, right? And so geologic time, and a lot happens there. And so how do we answer this question? Well, we've got about 2 million species we've identified so far, which is a lot. But we know that there's way more of those species out there, and you can just take a look at the ocean. That'll demonstrate my point. It's like the ocean is 70% of the Earth. 90% of the ocean is so deep we can't even get down there. So we send down little remote-controlled submarines to take samples, and that's about all we can do. And every time they come back with samples, we got new species. And so we're still kind of categorizing and documenting what's here. We haven't taken full inventory, right? So it's hard to come up with a number, but we certainly know there's more than 2 million. And so it's hard to figure out. What the book says is that we're at 100 to 1,000 times higher than the normal species extinction rate. They call it the background rate. So that's just the baseline. And so now we're higher than that, but it's hard to put a number on it. And so it's kind of like that Mark Twain quote. There's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics. And so it's something to keep in mind. And then also just to recognize 63.8% of all statistics are made up. So remember that when people are talking about these numbers. And I don't mean to make light of it, because we do know that we've got thousands of mammals, birds, and amphibians that are endangered right now, and from human activity. And so that's something we're going to take a look at. You know what we're going to do? We're actually going to cut this first video right there at part 1, and then we're going to come back for part 2, looking at kind of like our history of human history of exploitation, and give you a mnemonic to remember some of the causes of species being endangered, and then we'll take a look at a couple laws. So come right back. I just want to break these up so they're not so long in one shot. So we'll see you again in a second. Thanks.